Hello and welcome to Mic Drop, episode 7. I mean, we've came a long way. I'm joined by Nisha and Katie. Um, I'm going to be talking about Slayyyter's new album. Nisha has wants to talk about sampling in rap music, and Katie would like to be talking about memories and music and how music can unlock memories and just that association we have. So I'm going to start with Nisha first.
Yeah, so I've been listening to a rapper. He's from the UK, and I guess he'd be technically considered the underground, but I think I could talk for a long time about what's underground and what's not. But he samples music in just a way that I feel like is so unique, and that's the thing with the underground scene. His name's Oopsy, by the way. Um, but that's the thing with the underground scene is that we're seeing so much things, especially out of the UK and Ireland, that are so different. And I don't know if you guys have seen the new Spotify DNA thing,
I have not.
but it's a feature under a song on Spotify. And it basically tells you all the contributors, but if there's a sample in it, it'll tell you what samples are in it. And I've just been like, any song I listen to, I'm checking. I'm like, so what's the who made this? Who made this happen? Um, but yeah, I think Oopsie just does something very different, and I've just been really enjoying it. He kind of samples more modern songs because I feel like in a lot of rap music we kind of see older songs being sampled. I want to kind of he's not a good person at all, but he does what he does really well, and that's Kanye West. And the way he samples, like, Fade is a great one. He has a song with Jay-Z. It's actually Jay-Z's song that samples Otis Redding as well, and I think that is just so cool. But what Oopsie does is he kind of takes more modern songs. Like, he has a song, Goomba. Sorry, I have it written down beside me. That's why I'm looking to the side. And that samples the Sailor song by Gigi Perez, I think. Yeah. And I just think like that's not a song you would think, oh, this would be great in a rap song. But it just works really well. Um, he has one called Dwarf that samples Transparent Soul by Willow Smith. And it's so it's so cool, and I think it's it's sort of a testament to like the kind of creativity that is coming out of these smaller artists, and seeing it work is just so cool, and I love seeing it. And I think he's got about 360,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, but I feel like if he keeps doing what he's doing in such a cool way and like sampling random songs, because it's so random to me. Like, one, I don't know if you know the song Wasted Summer. It went like big on TikTok a few years ago. He sampled that in one of his songs, and I'm like, that's really cool. Because it works really well, and it almost has like a focus on the sample, like you can hear it throughout the song. And then he's rapping over it, and I just think it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, I think with the Spotify DNA, I don't know, I'm going a bit off topic, but with that feature, I would go down a massive
Oh
rabbit
yeah.
hole of just going through sample after sample after sample and listen to the original and just see how they've transitioned it into this newest form. And it's kind of a topic that we've reflected on a lot. Like Katie mentioned it last week with classical music almost being brought into this new light of pop. And it's just really cool how we're seeing a lot of the past come to the present and what artists are doing to be able to transform it in a new way, a new light for listeners to enjoy.
I think definitely, and I think like that one Kanye song I mentioned, Fade. I've enjoyed that song for years, and I've always like, I struggled so hard to find what it is sampling, because I'm like, that song sounds really cool, but I just had to go on to the song because it wasn't anywhere on the internet for some reason, and that was really annoying to
Oh.
me. But I just had to go into the song, and it said, I think the song has like 6 samples altogether, but I could find the main sample so easily and find that original song. And I think that is such a great tool to kind of sort of give credit where credit is due, um, when a sample is used.
Yeah, when you mentioned like sampling in rap music, my first thought was Money Trees by Kendrick Lamar because I think he samples, is it Beach House? It's a Beach House song, I want
Yeah,
to
I
say.
think he does
Um
sample something in it.
yeah, there's a sample in there that the original song reflects nothing of rap music, and it's a testament to these artists just being able to transition it into a different style, that kind of skill that they have. And for someone to not be as known as Oopsy, and I've never heard of him personally. So for someone who is maybe not as much out there in the industry, it's really cool to see that it's not everyone doing it. The fact that it is everyone doing it, and not just like these top people
Mhm.
that everyone's heard of.
Definitely, yeah. And I think it's sort of the time to experiment because we have all these tools that make it easy. And I think he's doing well in his experiments.
Yeah, and also my mind went to Pink Pantheress's album that she came out with. That was a lot of British sampling that she used a lot. Like throughout the album, I think most tracks have a sample. So it is just insane how we are almost revolutionizing the industry as a whole by bringing the past to the present.
Yeah, definitely.
And kind of on that note, I'd like to talk about Slayyyter's new album, Worst Girl in America, because it's very loud, but it's revolutionized pop through almost taking pop and electronic elements from the early 2000s. And one of the songs she talks about it is in Saint Loser. She talks about if people are listening to her music, it's almost a recession, reflecting back to this recession pop. And that sent me down a rabbit hole of researching about that. It actually stemmed from the financial crash in the US during 2008. And it was referred to just the party and the liberation that came from artists such as Lady Gaga and Miley Cyrus. So it's almost like she's bringing these new elements, but she's also reflecting on where it stems from, where it came from, but also bringing it to a new light. So it's really cool to hear this history come back. And I don't know if any of you guys have heard about recession pop before and that term being coined or used.
I hadn't, but I think that's really interesting. It's really fun to see how certain types of music emerge from certain events going on in history, and that does make sense, I guess, that kind of era of Lady Gaga and all the really fun pop being there to kind of counteract some of the negative stuff that was going on.
Yeah, and then she also reflects on Brittany Murphy, who is an actress and a singer. And again, it's the final song of the album, and she's very open throughout the album. It is very much drugs, partying, but almost it comes to this close, and it's very honest. So Brittany Murphy passed away before she ever released an album, and Slayyyter commented herself saying, "I wish she would have made an album." And we've kind of talked about this before with Sophie and her work and how influential these people have been, even though they're still not around. But with reflecting on the memories of the past and how we're bringing it into a new light, I'd like to move over to Katie's topic of the day.
Yeah, so my focus this week is memories specifically. And I was thinking back to when I was at school and we all had to do a certain amount of volunteering. And mine was in a dementia care home. And it was me and a few other people. And we really, really struggled communicating with the people there. Like they were just, it was like their brains are completely shut off. So we did a bit of research and we found that one of the things that can really bring people out of themselves is music when they're suffering with dementia. And the change that created was absolutely insane. Like they didn't have a word to say before and they were up dancing, like telling us stories from their childhood. Like it didn't feel real. It felt like someone had set up this film set. Like it was actually crazy the change it was. But it got me thinking a bit about how strongly I connect music and songs, music and memories together. I was thinking specifically back to my 21st birthday, and I don't know how this was the first time I heard this song, but I heard Don't Think Twice, It's Alright by Bob Dylan, and it was like such a cinematic moment. I was walking out of the festival and I could literally just hear it like fading the further I walked, and I was like, this is such a beautiful song. And whenever I hear that now, it just takes me straight back to that memory. And there's so many songs I have that with, and I think, particularly coming up to seasons, the way I listen to music really shifts, and I end up reliving all the memories I had last summer with just going to the beach or whatever. Like one song can just bring up this whole situation that maybe I haven't thought about in years, and it's just I find that really interesting.
No, I completely agree. I specifically the other week, there was one sunny day, and I specifically made a playlist for my entire summer this year, and it really got me into that vibe. I'm honestly reminiscent to last summer because I had so much freedom last year, and I was like, I can do whatever I want, I can go wherever I want, and I had so much fun, and it's almost put me in the mindset to be excited for this coming summer. So with memories and reflection, it's kind of crazy because sometimes I think of it in a negative light. I associate this song with someone, so I will no longer listen to them because that said person's not in my life or they've done something harmful. But almost twisting it and reflecting it on a positive light is really just life-changing in that sense. I'm not sure if you have any experience, Nisha, or any songs.
Yeah, I've been going down a real nostalgia trip recently as well. So this is kind of exactly that. And I've been very nostalgic for 2022 for some reason. Um, but a song that just came to mind was I don't know if you know it, Bohemian Like You by the Dandy Warhols. No,
No.
okay. But that song went multi-platinum in my friend group at the time. And it brings me back to that summer because no matter where we are, because we just hang out in people's gardens and we would always play that song and that song just really reminds me of that time.
Yeah,
But
no,
I'm sure I can think of so many others, but that was just the one that popped into my head.
yeah, and back on the Dementia note with Katie. So recently I done some uni work, and we done like a big massive project on health, and me and my group looked at dementia. So we went to a dementia choir, and that was insane to see because you'd see them walk in, and so we spoke to some of them, and they would say, "Oh, they've left their dementia out the door," and they would come in here and sing the songs from their past. And it was insane to just see them completely change. They'd be dancing, singing, doing whatever they wanted. And it was like there's nothing wrong with them. But but some of them reflect on and like, oh, I do have dementia. But when I come here, it just doesn't affect me. And it was wonderful to see like this change in everyone and made me cry a couple of times, I can't lie. Just it was beautiful to see.
It is crazy because I think we all know music's such a powerful tool, but the way it can be used for dementia patients is like it's magic. Like it doesn't feel like it should exist like that. I don't know the science behind it, but I think it's something to do with how many different parts of your brain it stimulates at once, I think. But it is just crazy. It's crazy that a song can do that to someone.
Yeah, because I think we focus on music as in how it can change emotion, but never how it's actually unlocking and changing how we think.
Hmm.
So I think on that note, it's really nice, warm note to end on. That has been episode 7. You should check out our website, our music news blitz, and our social media to find out any more information. We cover what we want and be on the outlook for next week because we'll have a new episode of Mic'd Up. Thank you so much, and bye bye.
Bye.